Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of I'm Up with Anthony Santino. I'm coming to you not live at all from one section of my couch. By the way, I recorded about 4 minutes of an intro a few minutes ago and didn't press record on my Zoom. So we're coming at you raw. We're peeling back the curtain. We're giving you the inside baseball here. I scratched my nose in a weird way. Okay, here's the thing. Starting this podcast, it's called I'm Up with Anthony Santino. And there are a lot of reasons I'm starting this. First of all, let me acknowledge, I know my voice right now sounds like I've been waterboarded all day. I use my voice a lot. I'm a person who doesn't feel like they need to talk all the time. But once I start, I can ramble and I can keep going. I do stand-up comedy. I use my voice a lot there. And then I also teach tennis. And when I'm teaching tennis, I have to project across the court. So my voice gets hoarse, no Seabiscuit, you know? Anyway, besides the point, I'm starting this for a lot of reasons. One, podcasts have given me a lot. I listen to probably like 8 to 10 podcasts a week, right? And some of them give me a lot of entertainment. They make me laugh while I'm driving on my commutes to places, whether I'm driving to the comedy club at night, or if I'm driving to teach tennis out in the morning out on Long Island. They give me a lot. Also, I hope that I can get clips out of this and help my stand-up comedy career. Let's be real, guys. Let's take it back for a second. We look, I don't want to put my material all out there on Instagram. I want to make people laugh without burning my material. So what do? We start a podcast and we try to make funny things happen on the podcast, and then we clip it and put it on Instagram because these things matter nowadays, apparently. No, it's self-evident. This stuff matters a little bit. That's one reason. It shouldn't be in my top 3, but it's probably number 3 at least. And really the biggest reason, the most heartfelt, genuine reason I'm doing this is because for myself, I want to connect to more people. One of the chips on my shoulder is I feel like, I have friends, I have acquaintances, people are nice to me by and large for the most part. And I feel like I'm good to people, but, I kind of shy away from social situations sometimes. I'll stay at a hangout for 10 minutes, but I should be there for 20. That's how it feels sometimes. So this is an excuse for me to get mostly other comedians on the podcast and try to get to know them a little bit better. But I'm going to bring it past that a little bit. I'll get people who aren't comics on the show sometimes. What I do want to say is I had a great guest for this episode. We're going to get to it in just a few minutes. Today I had Max Fine on the podcast. We had a conversation the other day. We recorded it. It's going to be this episode. Max Fine from Atlanta, Georgia. Really just a great guy, great conversationalist. God, I sound like I'm getting waterboarded. My voice is so hoarse. Anyway, Max Fine is a great guy, funny comedian. I've had him on shows before. There's 2 Max Fines in New York. I know both of them flex. This is one of them. I had a great time with him. I'm not going to preface the conversation with too much. What I will say is Max has an album coming out. We talk about that right from the get-go. He has an album coming out on October 13th. I think you could pre-save it soon. All the info will be in the description, or we talk about it. One or the other, or both. Had to burp. I'm very excited to do this podcast. I've had 2 podcasts before. I did one in college. It was called Look at That with Anthony Santino. What did that mean? Who knows? But it was my senior project, and we had people on it, and words were said. I had good experiences. I interviewed Paul Pabst, who's the executive producer of the Dan Patrick Show. I had Bobby Valentine on, former manager of the New York Mets. He was the athletic director at my college, Sacred Heart University. Had Bobby V on. He spoke Japanese. Guys, if you have Bobby Valentine on a podcast and he speaks Japanese, I don't care if the podcast was only 15 minutes long because he's a very busy guy. You got something out of it, So this podcast and the episode I just did with Max that you're going to hear in a couple of minutes, I thought it was a great one. I thought it was great. We had a good conversation. It flowed. It touched a lot of bases. I got a lot out of it. I think maybe he did, and I hope you do too. Support this however you can. If you think it's something worthy of supporting, I don't mean money. I mean, hopefully money comes at some point, whatever. We're totally nothing about that at all, right? No, if you can, please like subscribe to this. I just bit my tongue a little bit. Subscribe to this, share it with people, what have you, you know? We all deal with things. This podcast, is it going to be comedy? Is it going to be mental health? It's going to be everything. I'm not confining it, okay? It's really, let's be real. You're listening to a podcast. You like the person's personality. Do I deem my personality worthy of liking? Look, I'm amazing. No, I'm just... Am I? No. We're people. Some people get you, some people don't. And here we're going to just try to get each other. So I'm going to kind of stop talking. This could go so many directions. I could touch on so many things. You know, we could do a whole syllabus of what I want you to get out of this and whatever. This is I'm Up with Anthony Santino. This is my new podcast. I do sound like I'm getting waterboarded all the time. Maybe I'll figure out a throat lozenge that's going to fix that. And let's get to the episode. Welcome to episode 1 of I'm Up with Anthony Santino. We're in my apartment on my couch. I tried to get a studio for weeks, but...
It's better this way.
It is better this way.
Way better this way.
Yeah. I gave a little bit of a buffer.
This is great, man.
Yeah, HR can't...
Isolation, dude.
Of course. You can. If you try to tackle me, we have it on video.
Perfect.
So it's good. Ladies and gentlemen, who I have first on coming to the stage. I was doing this like a stand-up show.
Yeah.
I haven't done a podcast in about 37 years.
Perfect.
And now we're back on the grind. We're doing it. Yeah, I have Max Fine with me, guys.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, dude.
Of course.
I'm so stoked this is your first one.
Dude, I'm stoked.
I'm honored, man.
Yeah, I'm honored that you're honored that I'm honored.
Oh, man,
you know?
a thrill.
There's a lot of honoring going on.
This is too much honor, man.
Well, what's great about having you, too, because you have an album coming out. Max has an album coming out. What is it, October 13th?
October 13th.
There we go.
Pre-sales go up September 22nd, and then it goes live on October 13th.
Excellent. He's got a stand-up comedy album dropping. It's called I Like His Style.
Yep, very excited about it.
And you recorded at a Gutter Bar, by the way, right?
Yeah, right around the corner from here.
Excellent. So
yeah.
I've never been to a show there. But
Really?
No, but I've done mics there as of the last couple of months because they have
Yeah.
that Beach Bum mic on every other Monday night.
Okay.
I've been going there for that. That's a great mic. It's a great room, too.
Yeah, it's the best room in the city.
Awesome acoustics, nice lighting.
Yeah,
I imagine they do a lot of music there as well.
I don't know. I know that they do, like, they have comedy on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I guess every other Monday.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's music at some point back there, but it rocks, dude. That's like my favorite place in New York.
Well, they have your comedy album there. That's kind of all that counts.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked about it.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, man, you got to go to a show there,
Dude.
man. Wednesdays are the best at the Gutter.
Yeah. Wednesdays?
Every Wednesday at like 9.
9 o'clock. And they have like comedians you should know there.
Yeah, that's what it
is.
is.
It's that one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's so much fun, dude. You'll have a great
Excellent.
time. Get in there.
I'm going to
Come
get in there. Look
on.
at this. You're doing good promo for them.
That's
Comedians you
perfect.
There, this is it.
They hooked it up for me too. I have to legally.
That's awesome. Well,
Contractual. That's not true, but I like those guys.
what I'm curious about, because I've done comedy in some capacity for a while, but stand up. I want to give a
You
disclaimer.
started improv.
I started with like improv and sketch. About like 6 years ago is when I really started being active in a community with it.
Yeah.
But stand up, I got on stage finally almost 2 years ago.
Hell
now.
yeah, dude.
So stand up, that was like my main first obsession. Like as a kid, like watch sitcoms, the whole thing. My real stand up renaissance as a fan was in college.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Devin really put me on to a lot of it, and then I was just like, your world opens up. You're like, oh, Netflix exists. Oh, Bill Burr exists.
Sure.
All these things. Yeah. So. Then finally, you think about it. I was curious for you, like, when did you get into it? What was your journey?
So, like, do you know Michael Rowland? Have you met him?
I know that name. I don't know.
So he's been my best friend since we were like 14 years old.
All right.
He came home from college. He's a year older than me. And he did an open mic in Atlanta where we're both from.
Okay.
And I was just like, all right, well, I can do this too. I don't see why not. And that was kind of it. He went back to L.A., so I just kind of went into it alone in Atlanta, and I drank a lot. That was the trick. I drank a lot, and that's how I got ingratiated within the community.
All right.
I just became the drunk guy for a long time, and then I had to leave.
All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you drink or are you sober?
No, I haven't had a drink in 2 years, and it fucking sucks.
Dude, you look like a sober guy.
I know, and I hate that. I used to be so fun.
No,
dude.
but you are funny. But you have the thing where it's like you're like, I used to drink and be wild, but now I've just got energy.
No, not at all. I have no energy. I still do drugs. Let me be very
clear.
clear.
Okay. You still do.
Yeah. I
some
just
drugs.
can't
Okay.
drink.
Oh no, that's fair.
It's a huge bummer though. Drinking is the most fun thing you can do.
I feel you, but it's probably better that you're not doing it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But now I don't go out like I used to. I don't think personally, I could have started stand up without alcohol. I was like blackout drunk the first 7 years I did stand up.
Did you do okay with that, or did it like
well enough to convince myself to keep doing it? I would keep getting like, because when I started in Atlanta, I was like gung ho about like I have to make money doing this, and I have to like do that. So I like essentially lived out of my car and toured the country, and got drunk everywhere, and was like, this is fine. And then you turn like 23, and it's like, oh shit. And then you turn like 27 and you're like, I'm still doing this, and then you get to 30 and you're like, okay, we gotta put the brakes on, and yeah.
But I like that approach. I mean, do you know Frankie, who lives in Frankie Oy? Do you know him?
I'm sure I've met him.
Yeah, so he does the thing where he lives out of his van. He's from California, and he's just like committed. Like, I'm going.
Yeah,
like, I'm doing stand-up.
It's hard. I didn't do it like fully. So I lived in a couple places in Atlanta that were just super cheap, and I had this Subaru that just went everywhere with me. And so you like in the Southeast, there's a lot of ways to like link up shows. So Michael and I did like 31 cities in 33 days, I think.
Mike Rowland?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just like, it's the most fun you can have. It's like that. I didn't really finish college, so I was like, this is kind of how I grew up, was doing this. And it's so much fun until it's like, this is really taking a toll. Yeah.
Wait, that was when you were first touring? Like back, and did you guys like set it up? How long were you into stand-up when you did that?
Too early. Because like we kind of figured we did 2 runs basically. The first one was really short, where it was a week, and we just kind of went to open mics and we didn't promote anything. It was just like, we're gonna tell them we're visiting, so when we want to come back, they'll book a show for us. So we didn't go far because we weren't making very much money. And then like 6 months later, I got in my head, I was like, I think we can do like a full month out there.
Yeah.
And I booked it all myself, and it's like it used to be really, it's probably still easy to do. It's not easy. It's a lot of work, but it's doable.
Like to book a venue, you're saying?
Well, you kind of have to like figure out where the comedy community is, where the cities are, where the best shows are going to be.
Yeah.
Which ones bring in somebody and will pay you for it. Which ones are just like, all right, we're going to have 20 comics, and then you can go up at the end and do 25 minutes.
Right.
It's like, that's not what you're looking for. So you plan it out, and you can really figure it out. And I spent so much time doing that, I did not focus on stand-up.
It's a tough balance. I'm doing like some of that. Like, I'm starting to do some brewery shows. Yeah. But it's not easy. It's like, that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. And then I was probably about a year in when we did this, maybe two. And I just remember being like, I definitely have 45 minutes. And then I got there and I was like, I've got to fill 45 minutes. So it's just a lot of floundering, a lot of crowd work, a lot of like just, I'm going to drink through this. I was a classic, like, I'm freaking out bartender from the stage. And it's like, you get through it enough that you learn how to be on stage long enough, like to fill the time. And then it's like, oh shit, I'm a fraud. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, it's formative because, I mean, I think there's 2 schools of thought. There's like, well, you're not ready yet. Or there's like, well, you'll find out how ready or not ready you are through experience. Baptism by fire a little bit. It's one of those where like, I have a lot of material that I know, like, okay, I'm honest with myself. I'm like, this is good. I don't like this as much, whatever. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I've got 55 minutes right now. And then I'll do some of the stuff that's on like the B-sides. And I'm like, that's not ready yet.
Dude, it's so funny, like, because when I get nervous, when I can tell, like, anytime I'm, like, doing a club and it's like they don't like me and I'm like, fuck, I have at least 25 minutes up here. It's like, and I can tell right off the rip, it's like, I'm going to speed through. Yeah. And then it's like, I've done 25 minutes in 6.
That happened the other night. Well, not as far as like time issues, but like the other night we had a lighter crowd. So I do like parking at the Grizzly Pear, and like we had maybe like 12 people for our 8 o'clock show. That was the show I was supposed to be barking on. So I did that. And I was up there and, got some laughs, but it was partly them and it was partly me. I felt the tension in the room. Yeah. I rushed a little bit and I knew it, but I didn't know to the extent. And then afterwards, one of the guys, Brandon, was like, dude, got some good jokes. You got to slow down. He's like, your stuff's fine. You got to chill out. Sit in those silences. And like, I know that concept, but it's
so hard in practice.
Like, I am in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm pretty much newer to it compared to other people. That is something where you still have to gain some experience in like being chill with that stuff.
Yeah, man. It's hard to, I mean, I think this is just how the brain works, right? Like, logically, you understand that. Right. It's so easy to say like, oh yeah, dude, I'm talking a mile a minute. I don't know what I'm saying, and then I've run through everything I was going to talk about,
Right.
and now I'm just kind of up here.
But then you stare into the soul of like a Danish tourist, and you're like, "Holy shit! I want
I
them
just
to
have
like
to
me
get
so
out of
bad.
here. Yeah,
I want them to like me so bad. I'm going to talk faster."
I've gotten to a point now where like I can kind of tell if it's like, all right, I'm going to eat shit and I'm going to like prepare myself for it.
Right.
And if I don't, what a surprise and what a treat, dude. I'm always down for a surprise, man. But yeah, it's right now. So this is one of the things that's really stressing me out right now, dude,
Yes.
is I just burned 10 years worth of material. Like
Right.
10 years of like what I consider my A material is now gone, and I'm trying to write a new 45.
Right.
And it is tough.
That's a good. By the way, I like that because me, I like have things. I'm like, oh, this is great, and then
Yeah.
I don't want to exhaust it, so I'm trying to do newer stuff. And there's like
Fuck
finding
that,
that balance.
exhausted, dude.
Right? No, but
Yeah.
it's good. That's what I'm saying. I think it's great that you curated that amount of time and
Yeah.
built it up because it's like then you could really hit the hits.
Yeah, dude.
You
Well, that
know?
was because like when I started, there was like 3 goals I had. The first was I wanted to do an album. I wanted to do Conan, which is gone, and I wanted to do a half hour on Comedy Central, which is also gone. So it's
Yeah.
like it was like this has always been like the goal, and so I didn't want to do it with just shitty like this is some stuff that's good and this is a lot of filler.
Right.
But now the hard part is like I'm trying so hard not to do anything I did on the album, and it's
Yeah.
really fucking difficult.
Good challenge though. I bet.
We'll see. I've been, dude. I took like 2 months off
Yeah?
after I recorded
That's
it.
healthy though.
Kind of. I didn't
Right?
do it healthy. I
What
I
would you
think
do?
so. I finished. So I recorded the album at the end of June.
Yeah.
And then I took a week to kind of just decompress, and then I went to Michigan with my girlfriend
Sweet.
to meet her extended family and all that. And that we were there for about a week. We came back to New York. She broke up with me, and I was like, "Well, I'm not doing comedy for another, little while."
Sorry about that, by
It
the
is
way.
what it is. It's been long enough.
I had a June breakup too. So.
Huh? Oh, fuck yeah, dude! I got July. Like I was a
Oh,
July
sorry.
boy. Yeah,
You
yeah.
lasted longer than
We
me,
did
okay.
4th of July together in
Oh,
Michigan. She made
Rub
sure.
it in. Rub it in.
Oh well, I spent a lot more money than you, I bet, to travel. Anyways,
Hey, yeah.
but
Yeah.
so after that, to deal with the breakup, dude, I got really into fish.
I see you posting a lot of fish.
I'm
content.
so into fish now.
You
dude.
went to like 25 fish concerts.
7. I went to. They did
Okay.
7 nights at
That's
Madison
cat
Square
years,
Garden. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so, do you know Maddie Ryan? He's another comic.
Yeah.
So Maddie and I went to Philly to see them
Okay.
because he's a big fan, and I was like, "Shit, dude, I just got dumped. I found a $25 train ticket to Philly. Do you want to just go? We got a free ticket at the lot. It was like magic." And then I was like, "Fuck, this is making me feel better." Probably because I was on a lot of drugs. I was like,
You need
this-
something.
Yeah, and I'm just like, "Wow, I feel good," and I don't know why. And so I was just like, I'm gonna lean really fucking hard into this, and I went all 7 nights at Madison Square Garden. And then I think I like had a real fucking slip from reality for a bit, and was like, I gotta chill.
Like, was it mid fish concert? You were like swaying, and you're like, "Oh, I need to like get back to reality," or like after the
it
run
was
of concerts.
so there was 2 things that happened. The first was I went to fish in Philly. I came back the next day, had a complete meltdown, just lost my fucking mind because I just ex-girlfriend shit.
Yeah.
And I just totally slipped and was like, whoa. And then I kind of told myself, like, the next 2 weeks do not count. Whatever you do for the next 2 weeks, it's not real, and it will not. We're just going to forget about this after it happened. And I went really, I haven't done like drugs in a long
Right.
time. And I was like, I was so miserable and depressed where I was like, you've got ketamine? I'm sure. Let's
So
try
you were
this.
Just diving into other
Totally.
things. Yeah.
And like there was a moment where I was like doing ketamine and
Yeah.
like eating acid and Molly and like
And you're still here.
yeah, dude. Well, I was
Yeah.
sucking in a nitrous balloon.
Yeah.
And I legitimately looked at my friend who took me to fish. I was like, "Can you believe I haven't had a drink in 2 years, dude?"
Right,
And
yeah.
it's just like the excuses that you will make for yourself when you're in a panic and you're depressed are astronomical.
How did the drugs affect your mind state? Did you just sit in that pocket of like these 2 weeks don't count? I'm fine with it, or did they alter you in a certain way?
They didn't. I don't think they help. Well, it depends, right? Like I'm a big mushrooms guy. Or I was. I haven't done any like real drugs since these fish shows. But like, I'm a fan. My problem with booze was that I couldn't stop once I started.
Yeah.
With drugs, like, I mean, I smoke pot every day, but it's like with mushrooms and acid and shit. It's like, this isn't
Right,
something
right.
I'm doing every day. This is something that I'll
Yeah.
space out. And and I feel like if you do them the right way, you can learn a lot about yourself. I was
Right.
very much like, I'm trying to shut my fucking brain down without
Yes.
like killing myself. I
Right,
just
right.
want to not think for like 2 hours if I can.
Right.
And it did that, but then, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you have severe serotonin withdrawal, whatever.
Yeah, you're circling back. out
Yeah,
of
and
it,
then it's
yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
And then you have to just deal with what you've been running from.
Right.
And it's just not fun. And
Do you do therapy or any of
Yeah,
that? You
dude, I do.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I've been in a spiral, Anthony. I've been
Yes,
going
yeah.
like twice a week.
But that's good that you're doing.
yeah,
You're being
yeah.
active about it.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, so I'm curious. What made you want to start a mental health podcast?
So yes,
This
and
is-
by the way, that's good. So I'm glad you brought it up because
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect because I was thinking about it. Like I had everything except the name. I mapped out why I'm doing it, what I want to do. You know, I'm been going. I guess am I going through a breakup or is it done? I don't know. We're still
Dude.
cool. We're cool with each other. My ex. We haven't spoken in a while, but on purpose.
Yeah.
We're all good. Just good space
How long
to
did y'all
have.
date?
It was like 5 or 6 months steady.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, we were off for like a month and then kind of reconnected. I'd reach out, whatever. And we were just always good to each other. But, you know, she's got stuff going on. I've got stuff going on. And not going to divulge all that here. But, you know, it's hard. But it wasn't my first heartbreak. So thankfully.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's a very special person. to me.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I started, though, I think, was the breakup. And also just my whole life. Like, I'm an only child.
Yeah.
Grew up, you know, different forces in my life. There was tension and things like that. But, you know, like I love my parents and I want to be good to them. They're good to me. Find my way. You know, do they love that I do stand-up comedy and that's what I want to do for a living? I don't know. No, but
they'll come around.
they're-
If you stick with it, they'll come around.
Yes. No, they're cool. I mean, I've had lots of talks. Like my dad, like it's interesting. I always say this, like my mom is so supportive and
Yes.
sometimes then like I'll run bits by her and she'll be like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
I got a spit take out of her last
Yeah.
week. So that was cool. But usually my hit rate with her is like 1 out of every 7 or something.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my dad thinks I'm like the funniest person when I give him any kind of energy.
Right.
And something thinks I'm hilarious. And then he'll be like, yeah, I don't get this comedy thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, so there's always
It's
that.
impossible to explain. Like,
But that's
Yeah.
common. Like most
Yeah.
people's parents wouldn't want this for them.
Of course,
you know.
of
So
course.
I know that's normal. You know?
it legit, like my parents have seen me feature headline at clubs and they were
Right.
like, yeah, we still don't get it. And then
Yes.
they did come to the album recording. And
That's
then they
nice.
were like at the end of that, they were like, we get it.
How'd you feel about them being there? Did you want them
Fine.
there?
I did.
or-
I mean, I was stoked that they were there because they're old, dude. Like I've got
Okay.
old parents, and it's just like it was one of those things where like I needed to make sure that they understood that like this has been accumulating for a long time, and
Yes.
this is something I've been working on, and I need you to see that I'm
yeah,
doing something.
I'm sure you killed, and it was so
It was great,
fun.
and
Yeah.
they were very like after that. My dad was like, I had never really understood it. You need to focus on this instead of your job.
That's a
essentially.
sweet
yeah,
moment
Yeah,
to
it was
have,
really fucking
yeah.
great.
Do they live far away? Or they
They live as far away as possible.
Where do they
baby.
live?
Where do you think they live?
Atlanta or
No, sir. This is something.
South Antarctica? No,
You're closer.
wait, they live in South America.
No, they live, dude. I don't really talk about it too often, but they live in Israel.
They live in Israel. Oh,
Yes.
mazel.
So
All right.
I've got. Are you Jewish?
I'm not. I just kind of look it a little
You
bit.
could have been. Yeah.
Right? Well,
you
I'm
could have
Italian.
been.
It's like the same
Close.
thing.
I do believe that like
There's a crossover.
Jews and
there.
Italians are
Yeah.
the same.
I'm
I really
like
believe that.
Italian, Irish, a bunch of other random stuff.
Dude,
Polish.
you're just Catholic.
I'm Catholic, and then there's some Judaism that just got
Hidden.
it's in the Dead Sea.
We'll
right
hide
now.
there, dude.
Yeah,
we'll hide in your blood.
There's somebody in Italy in like 1908 was like, no, what? No, I'm
Yeah.
not. And that
Yeah,
was it.
yeah,
I think that was
yeah.
the end of it. But also, your mom has to be Jewish, and
Well, that
once
was
ends,
yeah. So basically, my parents moved in
Yeah.
January of 2020 because my dad has Parkinson's, my mom had cancer,
oh wow,
and they were like, just like we can't fucking afford to live here anymore. And they were trying to move to Portugal initially,
okay,
but they found out they get automatic citizenship as Jews if they move to Israel and immediately get socialized health care.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we're going to do that.
how do they
And
like it over there?
they love it. I hate it. I've
You
never
hate it?
been. I'm very vocally like, I'm not
Oh,
going to go.
politically, you have issues.
Well,
with
there's
it?
yes, I do. But
Gotcha.
also, you know what, dude? It's the kind of thing that it really feeds into. I've got like serious abandonment issues.
yes,
And this is kind of the like worst case scenario
Oh,
when they
like
move.
them being far.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky. So about a year ago, I had a cancer scare.
Oh,
It was.
what kind?
I thought I had kidney cancer. A doctor told me I had a mass on my kidney and all this.
Oh.
Turns out it was a shadow. It was a fucking mess. It was a shadow.
Oh, okay.
But for like
sure. Wow.
3 weeks, I was like,
That's terrifying.
it was brutal. And I was lucky that they were in Boston, where my dad's from.
Yes.
And my mom is from here. My mom's from Queens. My dad's from Boston. So it's like, you know, I've got family that they were visiting at the time when this happened, and they were able to be here. But like, if something happened to me, if something happened to them, it's like it's not like Atlanta where I can do a 2-hour flight that Delta runs 30 a day.
Right.
It's like I got to sit on a plane for however fucking long that is to go to a place that I am vehemently opposed to being in.
Right.
And then I have to just kind of deal with fragile parents after that.
Yeah, they'll be at the airport. They'll be like, "Are you here for birthright?" And you'll be like, "No,
Yeah,
I'm here for
dude.
cancer, I think."
No. I'm not.
I think I have cancer, and you might too if you keep talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But it's so they live far as shit.
That's
so it was
yeah.
it was very cool that they were able to be there at the album recording.
that's nice.
Yeah, it was rad.
Do you have siblings too, or no?
I've got a little brother.
Okay.
He's in Atlanta, and we don't talk too much.
Really?
Yeah, he's the opposite of me in every way, dude.
Really?
Yeah, he's. I think he does something in sales, but I'm not entirely sure. And he plays a ton of golf.
And you guys are like full brothers.
Yes.
So you just disconnect growing up or whatever.
Yeah, we were never close. So it's
Okay.
like, you were an only child?
I'm an only child, so I'll have your brother if you don't want him.
Dog, you can take him. I
Yeah.
mean, from what I understand, he's very good at golf.
Okay.
And,
Well, he would beat me at golf.
there
so
you go.
Maybe that'll boost his ego.
That's what
and
he would love to beat you in
if
golf.
he needs that, I just need a brother.
Yeah,
of,
dude.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, I
I need
guess-
someone to call, dude. Like I have parents. They
Yeah, that's the other thing, dude.
Yes.
I can't call my parents when shit goes wrong.
Really? Why?
Because there's a huge time difference.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like this breakup has been a disaster because I'll be like, like after 5 p.m., there's just like, that's it.
They're asleep.
They're asleep. And so
Yes. They're floating in the Red Sea with
right,
NASA
exactly,
over their face. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
so after 5, it's like if I have shit that I want to talk about, I've got to exhaust one of my friends now, and it's
Right.
like my friends are tired of me talking about being dumped by the same girl like 5 times.
But do you
They're-
have good friends that like?
Of course.
Like you like talking because that's an issue. I have like I
Oh.
have friends.
That's a
What?
better question.
What?
That I like talking to?
Yeah. Do you have friends you like talking to about personal stuff? You
I
feel
have-
like you get fulfillment out of it.
I can. I have issues. It's like that whole abandonment shit where I'm afraid to be vulnerable with people
Yeah.
in real ways because they all leave.
Well, yeah.
Including the ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah. So
I've got similar chips on my shoulder. Well, it was like one of these things where this is so general, not
Yeah.
anybody. I've had good relationships, only good breakups. I've had 2 legitimate girlfriends, like long-term relationships, kind of. My thing is like I feel like I'm there, and like we have attraction, we have good chemistry, and then it's just like over time, like I think I'm also implanting this into the situation. In my head, I'm like, if they get tired of it or something, it's like, oh, I'm just too there for them or something. Where I know that it's got to be deep. I know it's got to be, they've got their own life. They've got their own brain chemistry.
Right.
If something fades, it fades. Like, that's fine. And this time around, I'm good about that.
that's awesome.
Yes. But like, there is that thing in the back of my brain where it's like, if you let the negative voice come in, you're like, oh, they want this and I don't have that or whatever. You think that
Yeah.
or, oh, they want, But ultimately, it's like, we do, and this is something everybody always talks about, especially nowadays, you do have to be happy with yourself and also look at the positives. Like,
Sure.
when I can lean into the fact that I know that I gave someone everything I could, and I think that they had a very positive experience, and we both had a positive experience together, that's rewarding. Like, you gotta think about that,
Damn.
And I feel
dog, why think about that when I
No,
can think
right.
about I'm alone?
Oh, well, trust, I have those moments, but I'm lucky because one of my things is like I've dealt with depression like my whole life, on and off. I think there's usually a catalyst involved. I mean, it could just happen sometimes organically through the day, even on a good day. But I think what I'm grateful for is I do have streaks of optimism that kind of force themselves out in my day.
Yeah.
I know. Do you do that too? I mean, especially.
I wish I had that. This is so like I've been medicated since I was a kid, and I've like in and out of like treatment centers and stuff like that. Like I just don't find. There's very few things I find joy in and happiness. And And lately, I've been afraid to get on stage.
Really?
Which is, for the first time in my life, I'm afraid to do stand-up.
I understand, but I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't had too much fear, but I think I act like I don't have fear, but I might sometimes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, once you get up there, it's different.
It is, but my issue is this. This has never happened. Well, it has. But, like, so I'm not afraid of being on stage. I'm not afraid of doing it's like I'm afraid of going into a room that stand-up is happening in.
I see.
And being in the room. I just, like, I'll get to, I went to a show that I was booked on, and I was like, all right, I'm going to get there. I got to the door. I turned around, texted the bookers, like, can't make it.
What do you think you're experiencing? Like just general anxiety?
Yeah, well, you know what it is, dude. I know that if I've got people that are friends with. I've got friends. I've got friends. I have friends.
I promise. I'll text them right now.
Yeah, but like I have a really hard time talking to a lot of people, and
I feel you,
I have like when people talk about social anxiety, it's like, all right, you're here. You're like when like this is my favorite when someone's like, yeah, I have social anxiety. I was at this party the other day. It's like that's where we differ. I don't go to the party.
Right. I'll do a bit of that too myself.
Yeah, dude. It's like I get really freaked out. And this breakup coupled with like just serious serotonin deficiency from drugs, it took me like 3 weeks just to get out of my apartment.
Yeah.
I was home a lot. My roommate would come home and just see me being like, watching Elliott Smith concerts again, dude. Yeah.
What have you been doing to fight it though? Like what other stuff?
I run.
It's good.
Yeah, I run. I did a lot of ketamine. Not really.
5 minutes ago, or
yeah, I wish, dude. That's the thing. I don't have any money for it now.
No, I feel.
But it's like I run, I write, I do my podcast, and that's a big part of it for me. It's like that's like I'm guaranteed a connection with my best friend for an hour and a half. You know,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's why I'm doing this because like I know you, but I don't know you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like had you on my show. By the way, the one show you did, I think it was at Young Ethels.
Yeah.
Shout out Young Ethels.
Best bar.
Yeah, great bar, and they're so good to comics and people who do shows in general. But the mic wasn't working that night. Not to throw that out there.
Oh, sure.
But you were good. You were like Shakespeare in the Park.
Hell yeah, dude.
You were one of the better projectors of the comics.
That's that theater, dude. I came from the theater.
You did the theater
in high school.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
that was the big thing. I really thought I was gonna
see in the West End of London. You could do it.
We did. So.
Oh, you did. You were out there.
Yeah, we went to the Fringe in high school.
You did like a production.
Yeah.
Nice.
We got kicked out, but we were supposed to be there.
Why'd you get kicked out?
Drinking. We were.
Don't they all drink over there? Like 12?
Yes, they do. But we signed contracts with the American High School Theater Festival, and there was like 42 of us on the trip. I think 26 got sent home.
Okay.
It was like Jay Leno talked about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like a big fucking deal.
Yeah, Jay Leno shout out.
It was very cool.
You checked off the bucket list. You got a Tonight Show.
I got a credit,
baby. You got a late night.
I got a late night, dude.
There we go.
But yeah, so it's like. Yeah, but that was the thing. I really thought I was going to do like acting first, and
that's what I thought too. I thought I was going to do acting. I avoided stand-up.
I feel like everybody that does stand-up.
Did you avoid stand-up?
No, I didn't know you could do it.
Oh, right.
And then I loved stand-up growing up, but the idea of like, I didn't understand the concept of an open mic until Michael took me to one.
Okay, Michael Rowland.
Yeah,
right.
And I was like, oh shit! Like, so I lived in this part of town in Atlanta. This very cool. Well, it's now very cool and expensive part of town in Atlanta. But when I lived there, it was just warehouses.
Yeah.
So I was renting a warehouse that I lived in for like $600, and behind it was this airplane hangar that did comedy.
Oh wow!
And I had no fucking idea. And Michael was like, "We'll go to an open mic. It's in your backyard." And it was like this super DIY thing where the ground is literally gravel. You're in an airplane hangar. There's no heat, and you're just. I was watching a guy who was on acid talk to a guy wearing a bubble vest, like a vest of. I can't explain it any other way.
There was a bubble vest involved in the mic.
Yes, and the guy was on acid talking to another guy. I was like, "This is what this is."
That was their act, like.
No, this was just a dude on acid at an open mic, and I know the guy now, but I was like, this is it.
Right.
I can do this.
Yeah, you see the accessibility when you go. Like, I mean, that's part of what was good about growing up in New York is like out of college, I started going to stand-up shows.
Did you go to college here?
I went to college in Connecticut at Sacred Heart University.
Okay.
Just like their endowment's crazy now. They built an ice hockey arena. It looks like Hogwarts.
hell yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's cool. But that's the cool thing about it is like I grew up Catholic and everything, but it's a very secular feeling kind of university. People from all over the world, and it was a good experience. I was a media major, and then like during the pandemic, I worked in journalism a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I worked at like CNN, WNBC, just like doing PA work, whatever, general stuff. Worked and did background acting. The news is just like I loved the people I worked with, but the news is depressing to me. You know, it's hard. It's a weird time for it. Overall, that's just a whole other thing we get into.
It's always a weird time for it.
Yeah, it's always a weird time for it. That's the thing. People say like the world's gotten crazy. I'm like, there's always been bad people. There's just more of them now. We see more of it.
We see more of
it.
I really think that it's like, I don't think there's more. I think it's been the same. It's just that we have 24-hour news now where you see everything that's happening.
Yes.
We're addicted to Twitter where everybody can be a reporter of anything that's happening.
And we're intelligible animals, dude.
I don't know about that.
Well, not everybody, but that's what I'm saying is like we can express ourselves, but there are people that have animal instincts and there's mental illness that some people have good intentions and some people still have bad intentions. It's like, how do we address it? It gets weird, you know?
It is weird. And I think it's just one of those things. I don't know. I'm like pretty nihilistic about this.
Yes.
I'm very, it bums me the fuck out where I'm just like, I don't think that there's a comeback. I don't think we got
to do our best to manage. And I think that's why I try to get insular, but also connect to the people around.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, how do you feel about meeting new people? Like, are you picky with your energy? Are you picky with energy, or do you try to open up to people?
I do one of two things. I'll literally leave if I'm like the second I get like the least bit uncomfortable. I'm like, boy, I got to get out of here. Yes, I got other shit or I will overshare. And I will overwhelm people. That's the thing. When I was drinking, I was really social. I was really like, I'll tell you whatever I want. You want to hear about when I went to a detox center and was locked in there for 3 days? I'd love to tell you about it. Now I'm just like, I have shame now, and I have guilt that I didn't have before.
Shame about what? Like
everything,
all that stuff,
whatever,
Literally
anything. I have shame around it.
But have you been working on that, or is it
sure? But that's that Judaism, dude. That's like Catholics got it too.
Yeah. Were you very religious growing up?
No, not at all. Well, I went to a Jewish school, but it was pretty secular, and then like I didn't really have Jewish friends growing up in the South.
Okay.
It was no.
So did that shape your experience, feeling like there weren't a lot of Jews? And
no, I never really thought about it. Right. I was like, because I never wanted to be like associated with it. I was very like. Growing up in the South, there's like a fuckload of racism that you just don't expect. And as soon as people find out you're Jewish, it's like, we're going to fuck it. That's not even necessarily being mean, but that has to get wedged into everything you do.
Right.
It's Max is Jewish. Max is a Jew. Max, like whatever.
Right.
And so I remember, dude, when I was like 11, I was like, I'm done telling people I'm Jewish. And I'd never thought about it after that. Because I still had friends that were like not, and it was I played music and shit, so I was like,
do you play any instruments?
Not well, but I played guitar. I can play anything with strings, but not like I can't do leads and shit.
Yeah.
What about you?
I played guitar from like 2nd grade to 4th grade, kind of, but I didn't practice. I practiced maybe like one day every 2 weeks besides my lesson.
Yep.
I just I love music so much. Like love music so much. I know how to work in FL Studio. Like I have a decent year. Like
that I'm very familiar.
Yes,
with.
I could do that. But it's like I wish I had the passion to keep playing.
Me too, man.
But I think honestly, like you got to just go towards what you really like. Like stand up. Like once I found like I've never gotten tired of this. I've only grown and how much because I like the expansiveness of it. I like how broad it can be.
Yeah.
How you can change your writing style. You can change what you care about within it.
Totally.
And it's just a medium that's like very bare bones. Like we have microphones and we have people and you have to connect to people. Yeah. You get outside of your head while also trying to dig deep.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it.
Do you feel that when it's bad too?
Yes, because that's the thing is like what's kept me doing it too is like I'm not hard on myself to the point of feeling like it's hopeless. I'm not like, like I feel like I've got enough strong stuff where I'm like, okay, I have this, and then if I feel down about something else, I'm like, well, I know I have this and I can get better, and maybe one day something like that comes back. And, over time, like every once in a while, you get something you're really happy about and you're excited about, and that keeps you going. But also, if I bomb, like the other night, it wasn't a bomb, but it was like barely escaping a bomb. I was just like, they were this, and I wasn't great. My energy wasn't there. But I was like, but I know I've done it before, and I know it'll happen again.
Yes.
I really maintain that.
Yes.
Do you as well?
I maintain that it'll happen again, and I've done it before.
Yes.
But every time, you better believe the world is ending.
When you bomb, you feel,
I shut the fuck down. And, it doesn't happen often.
Right.
And it's like, and it's got to be very specific.
Right.
If I bomb at a bar show, the two people are, I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Whatever.
You can separate that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm a big proponent of 3 people are here, great, and I'm gonna bring my notebook out, and we're just gonna work on new stuff.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest fan of that. But when it's like, I mean, I've had some where it's like, oh fuck, there are 200 people in this room.
Yeah,
that fucking hate me.
My comic strip audition.
Oh, brutal. Well, that's already.
I was okay,
hard.
But it was just like the pops were like this. They're like, ah,
dude.
And I was like, oh, I have to bring it again. I mean,
yeah, that kills me. Like, I've done a lot of road work, right? So like you'll be in the middle of like Kansas or some shit, and it's like, fuck, dude, these people hate me.
Right.
They hate me because I don't know, dude. Like,
do you think it's your material or
it's
like
everything? It'll be because like you string in order to make it work on like financially, you'll have your good shows on the weekends, and then you just fucking find whatever will give you $200-$300, and it's like, great, I'll do your bingo hall or your VFW hall and shit. And it's like when you're performing for like 80 Vietnam vets or 100 people in a casino that just lost all of their money, and this is their free entertainment for the night. It's hard, and it's just like
they might not want to hear about fish right now.
They don't want to hear about anything other than fuck. I lost all my money, or all my friends died in the war, and it's like
there's that too.
Yeah, and it's like 25 more minutes, guys.
You just salute for 25 minutes.
Yeah, dude. I'm just hand over the heart the entire time, and
you make
like,
bugle, do like a bugle.
Yeah,
and then they're like, all right, that brings me back.
There's one dude who stands up to salute, but his hip cracks, and he's out for the count. Like, it's hard. But. Why are we talking? Why did this come up?
Talking about
right.
Yes, dealing with bombs.
Yes,
and stuff,
when that happens. Luckily, it has not been an issue since I quit drinking. But I used to dude. There was this bar I would do like once a year in Pensacola, Florida. It's in the basement of a Days Inn motel, and it's a swingers bar for bikers.
Swingers bar for bikers.
Exactly.
Wow, that sounds like a lot's going on.
It's a lot going on, and
you get offers or?
Huh? Oh yeah, dude. Yes. Mostly to buy crack, but
okay.
Not crack. It's not fair. Meth. They do a lot of meth.
The cops are swarming the Days Inn right
whatever,
now in
dude. They know it's there. They're all part of it,
dude.
Cops
are in it. Yeah.
Cops are hanging, dog. Cops got to get laid too, brother.
Yeah, it's part of it.
And that show every year, I knew that like. I would get a room at that motel because I knew that I was going to start drinking the second I got off stage.
Yeah.
And
whether it went well or bad?
It wasn't going to go well.
Oh, you
know that going into it. But it's like, all right, well, this is $150, $200, and I'm just going to do it because I've got somewhere else I'm going. And, yeah, man, I'd, like, bring a bottle of Jameson, and it's like, fuck, I got a whole 50 feet to walk to my hotel room.
Yeah.
And, like, I haven't had anything like that happen since I quit drinking, but I've had a few auditions for shit where I'm like, ooh, I fucked it up in a big way, and I am pissed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like I'll find something. Like I did an industry showcase that I didn't realize was one.
Yeah.
And I had gotten off a plane. I thought it was just a regular fucking show, and I was running super late from the airport, and I had sweatpants on. I looked like shit. I go up, and I did well. And afterwards, someone's like, "You did great. I can't believe you did an industry showcase for agencies and stuff in your sweatpants." I was like, "What?"
Wait, who told you that?
Another comic.
Comic.
And I had no idea.
How come you didn't know? Like they didn't.
Because I'm oblivious to shit, dog. I made a really fucking big commitment at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Of 2022. That I was like, this entire year, I want to have fun every time I get on stage.
That's good.
That's all I want to do is have fun. I don't care about any type of career. I don't care about money. I just want to have fun.
That's the right mentality. You probably chill out that way.
Totally. And then I did this show, and it was like, oh,
They're
no.
like, are you ready for bed right now?
Well,
with
this
your
guy, this
PJs?
fucking
Yeah.
dude, man, I had a moment where like there was a guy who was like laughing super hard at one thing, and he's just him.
Yes.
And I just did like fuck you, man, whatever. And it did well. And at the end of it, dude comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, I'm the guy you said fuck you to. I was like, thank you for being cool about it. He's like, yeah, no problem. My name's this. I'm an agent with this. And I was like, that's weird. Nice, man. Cool. And I just walked away, and I didn't click with me. It's like,
yeah.
oh, shit. And that was the
Yeah.
kind of thing my poor girlfriend had to deal with me, just like,
You were.
it's over. I'll never get an opportunity like this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you
but-
book stuff yourself, or do you have an agent, or you
No,
just,
I do it all myself.
That's good.
I mean, like, I've had a manager in the past, but it was very brief. I've never had an agent, but like I've had agencies that I'll work with. But it's like the cool thing about comedy, I think, especially like now, is you can kind of do it on your own. You don't need
Yeah.
that stuff. Like, unless you want to like really focus on like TV acting or movie acting or whatever, it's like I can email a club on my own.
Yeah.
It helps if you like have an agent or a manager that reps someone big
Yeah.
that they can leverage. But other than that, it's like I'm lucky where I've earned enough of a reputation, I think, where I want to work at that I can do it and just go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are you active right now in the wake of the album being done? Or?
Getting back to it.
Yes.
So I just this week was like, all right, we gotta work harder. And yeah, so it's like I've got shows coming up. I'm leaving at the end of the month for a little bit. And that'll be terrifying and fun. And it's like I've got to do a new 45 that I didn't do last year, and I'm very scared about that. But
Have you done a lot of it yet, or just like
none.
a little?
And none. And I think what I'm really good at is really making sure an audience knows, like, hey, I'm working on new shit, but if you listen, I'm going to make it worth your while, one way or the other. You're gonna watch me bomb it, and it'll be fun, or it'll be great.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna have to fall back into some old shit,
It's all
but
right.
yeah, dude. But I've got it all written out. I just have to say it now.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that's the fun about stand-up. Is like you said, like a lot of us did acting first,
Yeah.
and then it was like with acting. I remember one time I did a showcase show in the city. I was working with this thing. They try to help you get a manager or agent, and yeah, have you heard it?
wait.
Yep, you've done it.
Yes, I did
You did it?
this. This scam.
You did well. Yes, but here's okay. If they're listening,
Maybe it wasn't. It
maybe it could have been. It
another
doesn't matter if it was. It was.
Yeah.
But either way, I did this thing. The main culmination, you do a show at the end, or whatever.
Oh, this is totally different than the one I went to. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. But they were cool and everything. But my night, the night where we did it, it's some theater in the Upper West Side. I knew my thing. You know
Yeah.
your monologue, whatever. You have a monologue. It's not crazy.
Right.
Shouldn't be insane. Been doing it for 5 months. You get up there. Dude, I dropped a line for about 7 seconds. 7 seconds is a long time.
That is a long time.
I heard someone in the back of the theater. It was like a girl. She went, "Oh." I was
Dude,
like- I was
yeah.
like,
That's the kind of thing I'd rather
Ooh.
eat a gun than
Ooh,
like, yeah.
I had a fork and a knife ready for one, dude.
Oh
because
man.
it was. But and here's the thing, like it wasn't terrible, but it felt that moment was just like, yo, you dropped it.
Yes.
Like you dropped it.
Yes.
Like, and it's like, you know what stinks about acting is like it's other people's words. So I felt the pressure of like you got to hit it. You got to hit that.
Well, with
With
acting, you
stand-up
can't be
is-
like,
yeah.
drop that one, huh?
Right, they're like, no, this is that's what you're supposed to be doing. So anyway, that was palpable. And then either way, like a few nights later, we had the thing where you go and like there's at some restaurant or something, you meet agents and managers, you
Yeah.
have conversations, had some good conversations. And then this is right before the pandemic, like a week before the pandemic hit in like March 2020. This guy like emailed me. He's like, hey, let's set up a meeting, like a commercial agent,
Yeah.
which would be great if that worked out.
Right.
Unless he wasn't, but I think he was, whatever. We had an appointment for that Monday, world shut down, and then I just never rescheduled it because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Dude, yeah.
Swimming through like what's going on. But I got it. I dove into writing, wrote some movies on spec.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Have you ever done that? Like,
Oh,
'cause,
totally.
I mean, you're a writer. You do stand up. You've written
Yeah.
some movies. And
Totally.
sketches.
I not like a feature, but like short film,
Yeah.
sketch. I do a lot of sketch.
Nice.
Sketch is kind of the big one that me and a couple guys do a lot of.
You
So
enjoy it. It's fun.
I love
man.
it.
Sketch is fun.
I love acting. I do, and I'm like,
It's a great challenge.
It's fun, and I just like, you know what it is, dude? It's the whole, I hate myself. I don't have to be me for a few.
Yeah, you have to get out of your head.
What a dream it is, dude. Yeah.
But do you find like I imagine that I probably know the answer to this question, but do you like find like there's a catharsis to doing stand up because of like connecting to yourself, or what do you find you like about it the most? Like on a daily basis?
This is gonna sound so fucked, but it's not meant to sound the way it sounds. It's the power of it.
It is. That's fair.
It's like the control. I am finding out that I'm somebody that is very quick to give control away.
Yes.
If it means like I'm very passive.
Yeah.
I'm very like if it's like
I like to be like that with people too. I like to give people a bunch. If push comes to shove, I'll stand up for myself, but I like to just not ruffle feathers.
Dude, every time I stand up for myself, someone's in tears, and it's usually me. And I'm like, all right, well, we're not doing that again.
That sounds.
I do a lot of you do you, baby. I'll be back here, and when you need me, just call. I love you. But like
that was good acting, though.
Thank you. It's based on a true story.
Wow.
No, like I'm very passive. So with stand up, if you're doing well and you're fully in control, especially if it's like a long set, like a half hour is where I think I'm at my best. And so 30 minutes of I can completely control the narrative of who I am, what you see, how you see me and understand me is huge. And it's just like for the first time in my life, I'm like, every time I'm just like, okay, cool. I feel that rush and I feel good about it. And I think I got my points across. I need to run the fuck out of this building before anyone wants to talk to me.
Right when you're done.
I'm terrible. I used to, when I drank, I was always like, we got to fucking hang.
Yes,
I would be in a club for like 6 hours after a show talking to strangers.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, fuck, I got to
run
go.
away.
Yeah. Because it's weird. I think I'm at a point with it now where people like listen to what I'm saying as opposed to, you did comedy. That was fun, huh? Let's drink.
Right, yeah.
It's like, hey, I wanted to ask you about this, the other. And it's like, oh boy, I don't want to actually talk about myself.
Oh, you
dude.
don't?
Yeah. No. I want to do
like
it.
that exchange up there.
Yeah, dude, because it's like if somebody wants to talk, you get to tell them fuck off.
Yes.
If you're on stage.
Yes.
If you're not, it's like,
yeah,
you seem really nice. So
it's more intimate than one-on-one.
Yeah,
and
there's no audience to be like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
It's like, it's very much like, all right, you clearly connected with something I said, or something happened that you resonated with, that you remembered, and you want to talk about it. And it's very cool and it's very sweet. And I'm so afraid.
You're afraid of that.
Yeah, because I would love to be somebody.
I would love that. If you want me to be your stand-in for that, I'll
sure
take that
get in there, dude. Because this is the thing, like people leave and I'm so afraid of, I am a chronic overshare.
Yeah.
I can actually,
I think that's okay, depending.
It is, but it can wear, I wear people out.
Oh, you think they're getting worn out?
I think so. Because it's like, if I'm out of town and it's a club situation, I can hang and talk to people. But like here, it's like, and usually because out of town, it's like, it's generally older people. That want to go home, or or they're young and they like, this is the big event that they came to, and it's exciting. So it's not the same. Whereas here, everybody knows someone that does comedy.
Yeah.
Hey, this person? No, I don't. It's a big scene. It's great. I want to do comedy. It's like, I don't give a fuck.
The interactions, there's more shallowness. And sometimes, like the other night, most of the time I get the like, oh, that was fun, man. I'll see ya. Never going to talk to you again. Goodbye. But the other night, like, I had a teacher come up to me and he was talking about, because I teach tennis as well a little bit.
Cool. Really?
Yeah. So that's
dude,
like,
I want to get into tennis so fucking
let's do it, man.
Really?
I got you, of course.
Oh, dude, I would love that. I'm dying to get into tennis.
Let's do it. It's good exercise, good cardio. You're chasing a ball. I feel like,
dude, I could be a dog, man. I could chase a ball for it. Yeah, man. Woof, woof. Bark, put me in, coach. I want to hit some rackets.
But that's the thing is, like, I talked to a teacher the other night. He's like, oh, man, you must relate to this because I teach and the kid, so it's cool to have that. I like that because that's part of why I do it. The main thing, though, I was going to say, and let me know if you relate to this, is like part of what I like about stand-up is like, for most of my life, like I care about other people's feelings so much. I do a lot of self-editing. I mean, like, I like to be honest and forward when I can. Like, I don't like lie.
What do you mean with self-editing?
I hold back a lot. Like,
sure.
I don't share every single feeling I have because like I'm like, if they did this to me, I'd be annoyed, so I wouldn't do that to them.
Yes.
So I do a lot of that. But with stand-up, I can curate my opinions.
Of course.
I'm like, I thought about this. I want to be interesting and I want it to be funny. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to find the punchiest way and the funniest way to say this thing. And it's like when it hits, I'm like, oh, that's a dope.
best.
Yeah, because it's like they feel me on this. It's not like I'm just
Totally.
talking to dead air.
Totally.
I'm like, there we go. That was what I wanted to happen.
Yes.
You know.
I get stressed because that's the thing.
But I've had time. Like
right.
I
Well,
like
with the
time.
self-editing thing, I do that now. When you know what it is? I'm overcorrecting for when I drank, because I would literally talk to strangers about anything for as long as I could.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm very aware of everybody in a room. So, like, I sell merch. So if somebody's talking to me about merch, it's like I see 6 people behind you that are waiting, or 2, and it's like, I really hate to do this, but like I need gas money. So,
right. No, but that's a nice forward way of saying it. Like you're being polite.
But I don't say it.
Oh,
no, because I'm too afraid.
You should.
I should stand up for myself in a lot of ways, and I should I'm also quick to be like, you're short $50. You'll get it to me eventually. I'm like so passive and afraid of confrontation.
I think that'll help you over time, though. I think
I would thought it would.
It's
been a long time.
You've got an album coming out. I think that'll move some kind of a needle, man. I'm serious. Yeah,
if it does or if it doesn't, it's just one of those things where I was like, this is something I just want to do.
Yeah.
That was like, because when I started comedy, that was like the benchmark of success, or not success necessarily, but like skill.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they've got an hour that's recorded. That's a big deal.
No, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, and now I'm like, all
There's
right.
a level of respect that people are going to add to you.
I mean, I hope so.
Because
goddamn, am I tired of being shit? No, I'm kidding.
No, but I when I saw your recording and everything, I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Thanks,
following
man.
that on social and everything.
Thanks, dude.
No, I'm impressed because that's something I aspire to. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I have things I know, like, I'm like, oh, God, I would love to just be able to burn this because I've been doing so much of it and I want to get rid of it, you know?
You've been doing stand-up 2 years?
Yes.
I've got some jokes that are literally 10 years old.
No, but it's worth it. There's if they're intrinsically in you enough, like that's worth it.
Totally.
I mean, and also like I would want it to feel evergreen and not too topical. Or if someone's listening in 2085, like I'm like, oh well, it's so personal to me, it'll make sense then too. You know, it's a human thing. You know,
it's interesting because like that's what I'm working on right now. Because like I had a very specific like idea of how I wanted to do this. Because the next thing I want to do is a special, and this was meant to be the album was meant to be a little bit more broad and accessible, so I can do something
on audio too. That makes
and now I'm like, because I've got a very specific thing that I want to do with this next thing, and it's just I know it's not going to be broad at all. It'll be very personal and very like, this is something different.
That's cool though.
It's
That'll
cool,
help you stand out probably.
Yeah, well, we'll see, but that's why I'm stoked about the album. It's very goofy and very silly. Everything's very silly.
Was the next thing like? Is it something you're still in the works? Like it's
under wraps? Because like this is something I'm understanding now about this breakup, and I'm not. This is not what it's going to be, but I am like, I get very hung up on how do I say it? Like, I it's obsession, right? It's obsessive shit. I have really bad obsessive thinking, and it's not necessarily like, oh, I need this person.
Yeah.
It's I obsess over the thought of, okay, this is somebody that I thought I was going to be with, that I loved, and they were able to leave, and then you obsess over that to a point where it starts to become, it's not about her anymore. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with me and my brain and how I pick somebody that I want to be with and all this shit, and then 6 days later, I'm like, I haven't eaten, and I'm just like, you got to fix everything in your life right now. So it's a little bit more about that, but like, there's a whole video, like multimedia component to it.
But that's cool that you're getting that personal. I mean, that's, I think, what endears people to other people is when you can open up like that.
Yeah.
Dude, like the more, that's what's great about the best stand-ups are usually like, I think Chris Rock said to somebody once, I was listening to this on a podcast the other day, but he's like, the bigger you get, the more personal you should get too. It's like, because, mom and dad stuff and like girlfriend stuff, like that's what relates to people. Not, I mean, listen, we all have observational bits and you talk about the kangaroo crossing the street or whatever, but it's like when you get more personal, it's like usually better. Yeah.
Cause then that's kind of my, like, so stories has always been my thing. So the album is 55 minutes. I think like 37 or 38 of it is stories.
That's great.
And it's like, and now I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what is still interesting. Like, I'm really trying this time with this breakup to be, I was always very protective of this girl, like when I talked on podcasts or on stage.
Yeah.
Because I love her. And
that's good. That's sweet.
You know, and I'm still trying to
that.
do that with this breakup.
I love her too.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'll let her know. I actually can't talk to her.
No, leave her alone. But
no, I should. She blocked me. Finally,
sorry.
It's for the best. It's definitely for the best.
Listen, I haven't had that situation, but I've been in your shoes as far as like, you know, I'm sure there's levels of it. Like my thing would be, I wouldn't bother them at a certain point, but I would go on her profile like just to see her picture.
I did that every second of every day, and she knew that. And then she was just like, this has to stop.
Yeah.
Because
were you reaching out a lot?
No.
Yes.
But like she was like, no contact. I was like, okay. But I think that she knew that I was like, because I was like fucking hovering over her Instagram, like post a story. Come on, let me see. And I think she's great.
Yeah.
She's a really great person. And I think she was like, he's not doing well, and I can tell because I'm also, I get on Twitter and I'm like, I'm not doing well.
Right.
And
she could see that if she looks. Yeah.
And so she's like, fuck, all right, let's cut this, I think.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Did she tell you that? Like she was just like, yeah. But no, you could come. Yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't have to tell me. I get it.
But you guys have like a respect for each other and keep it.
I think so. I think there's a lot that eventually one day we'll either talk about or we won't. There's part of me, because like I am very much of the idea of like, I love this girl and it's gonna be forever.
Right. It's still new. This
is like the fourth or fifth time this has happened with her. You get used to it.
Of course.
But it is like but then there's another part of me that's very much like, I may never speak to this person ever again.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who I was like very intimate with, very like vulnerable with, and very much in love with. And it's like the idea that they are still alive and I can't.
You don't have access to their day. You don't know what's going on.
And it's like, it's like, by no means am I saying I wish she was dead. But it's like, but if she died, I could at least be like, oh God, that sounds horrible. I fucking hate that I said that.
I could.
No,
don't.
Yeah.
No.
But it's like, you know, but knowing that she is around, it's like, fuck, okay.
Yeah. But it's gonna get better.
Yeah, it does. I know this is not my first.
I know that's a general thing to say. I hate when people are like, "You're gonna be okay."
It's fine. This isn't my first rodeo.
But you know, I mean that in a very like I can relate. It's like I am not with somebody who I really care about right now.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, and I think I'm sure you have this too. We do the same thing. It's like you realize you have to have personal value, and you have other things in your life that are feeding your soul.
Interesting. I don't get that.
You don't.
No,
but you should. You do. Great.
I should. Well,
I understand. Like chemically, we're all.
Well, this is what happened. So, how are we doing on time?
Oh yeah. What do you have any? We're at 54.
54. I got this. So
you rap soon.
I really was not good in my first real long relationship.
Yeah.
That's when I started stand up. It was somewhere in the middle of it, and this was somebody who definitely did not sign up for dating someone that wanted to do comedy.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, and it's not her fault in any way that I was like, I'm going to abandon this essentially to drive around the country with my best friend for a month.
Yeah.
Whereas now I go into it, a relationship with, hey, I do this and it's not just a hobby. This is like a serious, like, this is
that's
part
good
of how
to lead.
I
You have
make
to
my
lead with
income
it.
and shit. And like, and if it's, and I always say like, you have an out. And luckily in New York, every girl has been out with somebody that did comedy.
Right.
And they're like, all right, I know kind of what to expect.
Yeah.
But like with this, the girl that I was last with, she came from sketch and improv in Chicago, so she understood it. And it's like, I don't have to worry about, I don't know, the whole trying to convince somebody that I do this.
Yeah.
As opposed, but then there's the other part of it where it's like, this is what feeds me creatively and emotionally. And I know that you see the frustration only, but there are good parts of it. And I'm not just miserable, I promise. And that's when it gets hard to like find the personal shit where it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to kind of shut this down because I don't want to bum anyone out anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have your ex go to shows with you or like go to your shows?
It took me some time.
Yeah.
I've always been, I mean, It definitely took some time.
I was like that too. Well, at first I'd be like hesitant because I didn't say anything bad about her on stage, but I'd be like, oh, like if I do the thing, I would tell her like everything I did about her.
Yeah.
I think it's just the fixation of like, oh, she's there. Am I going to focus on her too much? And then like once I had her come, like I was comfortable with it.
Oh, totally. Well,
I was like, oh, this is fine. She enjoyed going and
Yes.
stuff, which was sweet. That was so nice.
My ex, without I'm not gonna say too much, but like she wanted to go way more than I was cool with. Because my whole thing is like,
you want separation?
No, not at all. But it's like she wouldn't. It's hard to explain to somebody like, no, I don't want you to come to this bar show at 10 p.m. on a Monday, wherever. Not because it's not something that I feel is important, but I don't want you to see me like working on new bits.
It's the trenches you think to the outside world.
Yeah, and so like, I mean, if I was ever doing like a bigger show, it's like, yeah, come on. So like,
yeah.
I'd like that she was, if I did something at the Bell House, it'd be like, come on, please.
Yeah.
Or at the Gutter, it's like, hey, I'm doing
Nice
CYSK.
room. Yes.
Come through. Because it's like, I know I'm going to crush. And,
yeah.
and she understood bombs, but she also was like, it takes a while for me to get to that point.
You wouldn't want her at a bomb.
No, because I know that guy that brings his girlfriend to every show. Like, because there's one thing to do that and your girlfriend's into it and gets it.
Yeah.
I have seen so many miserable women at comedy shows just like, yep, that's my boyfriend. And I was eating my girlfriend out. And it's like, dude, she's clearly not stoked. Neither am I. I'm sitting next to her. This is... And I just like, I'm not that blue, but it's like, it is the kind of thing where if I feel comfortable enough with somebody and it's like, okay, come on, watch, whatever. Or if they're I've hooked up with like a couple comics, and it's like there's a difference where it's like, I don't have to explain this to you. You get it,
Right. Well, I mean, with my ex, what was sweet was she like liked going, and I was comfortable with her going.
Right.
And she was very. That's the thing, is she was very supportive in a way where I didn't expect her, and she just was. She was
rules.
Like, I was like that. That's another thing. Like you miss that. I'm like. You focus on the really great stuff. And then you have to remember, listen, if we're not together right now, we both are focusing on each other.
Damn, you're so positive about
I really
all this.
know,
This
seriously.
is great. No, it's great.
Well, it's also, A, you need to do it. And
Sure.
I implore you to do that if you're having a hard time with it.
I know.
But B, it's like, besides needing to do it, is like, I'm grateful that I'm able to do that too, because it's like, trust me, I've had really hard days early on.
Sure.
The pain subsided, but you still miss a person. But it's like, you just got to realize, like, you've got value, she's got value. And no matter what, you stay on your path. However it diverges. Yeah. And life is beautiful because of that. Like I like the unknown. Like I kind of do like the unknown.
Damn, dude, you're like the opposite of me. I'm like terrified.
Trust me, I would love to have more control of things. I would love last thing I would ask you about too is like, what's your relationship to like social media? Bad or
it depends
well,
on
I
the
mean,
day.
you told me about the thing with the break, but like just in general, it's like
Instagram, like with the break. Now that it's funny, as soon as she blocked me, I'm like, oh, I'm not looking at Instagram at all. I call Twitter my idiot journal. I will go down with Twitter until that fucking website is off the internet. I will be on it.
Are you calling it X yet? Or you?
No, I never will. It's just,
I don't know why he did that.
I don't even give a shit. I'm just like, this.
Watch
was
me
bad.
put this on Twitter.
Yeah. This is the clip.
This is the clip.
I don't know why he did it, and I don't give a shit. Honestly, it's like, it's still the same. Who gives a fuck? And I call it my idiot journal because it's like every thought will go there, and then I'll delete it real quick.
Really?
But I get a lot of like premises out of Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Do you get it when you do your podcast? Do you get like some premises out of that, or is it more like a different headspace for you?
It depends. I've got some. Well, it's like a lot of the podcast we started it once I knew what the hour was, and that's all I've been tightening for the last 7 months or whatever, or a year and a half. Now it's like with new shit, a lot of it came from the podcast, like stories.
Oh, nice.
But for the most part, it's just like every Sunday I just catch up with my best friend, and like the way we do it is just how we've been living our lives for 20 years at this point, where it's like, yeah, man, we'll just sit in your car, we'll smoke pot, and let's make each other laugh. And it's the same thing. We make music on it too, so it's like,
sweet.
It's fun as shit. Do
you bring guests on, or you just do it you two?
Sometimes it depends. Do you know Kenny DeForest?
I know the name. I don't know him.
Here's a fun one. I lost Kenny DeForest's car last week.
You lost his car?
It got towed. We found it. It was a nightmare.
How'd that happen?
Allegedly, I parked in front of a driveway.
Okay.
That I tell you, that driveway was not there when I parked.
They erected it once you left the car.
They built that driveway as soon as I parked.
That's how they usually go.
That's what
Dude,
I'm
things
saying.
go up fast in Brooklyn.
I know, dude.
Yes.
And regardless. So Kenny was over getting the keys to his car, and as Michael walked in, and he was like, "You want to do it?" And we were like, "Okay." And but we've never really planned for it. It's just like whoever's generally in my home, because I live with a comic, so it's like there's always comics just kind of bumming around, smoking pot in my living room.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's just the music gets hard with it because we make like beats essentially. Like Michael is a looper. It's really fun. And so like every now and then we'll get somebody who like has no fucking idea what we're doing, and it's like, oh boy, I'm sorry. I promise it's more fun than this sometimes. But
music just gets injected in or something.
Not really. Yes, a little, but also. There's like, it's a lot of improv and a lot of like, hey man, it's musical improv, and if you're not familiar with it,
You guys like freestyling a little bit?
he does. He's very good at freestyle.
I can freestyle a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, a little
We
bit.
had somebody on who was it? I can't remember who, but like they freestyle. Yeah, dude, it's fun
Assad?
as shit. No, I don't. I think fuck, who was it? It didn't go well. I remember that, but
It just wasn't good.
It wasn't that they were. It was just Michael couldn't figure out how to make a beat. It was a whole thing. But like, he does that, and then We've got like a voice modulator, and we'll do like scenes over like
that's fun.
his loops and stuff. It's fun. But nobody listens, and we're cool with it. And
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
man, it's just the most fun thing in the world.
That's what I'm trying. I'm not trying to obsess over numbers with this. I want it to grow, and I'd love it to help my stand-up career somehow. You know, that's obviously a piece of it. But more so, like I want to connect, like you. Like I know of you, and I've had you on a show, but I don't really know you too well. So it's good to like get outside of myself a little bit, see how I relate to people. You know, like. And I appreciate you like doing it and sharing.
Dude, thank you so much for having me,
of
man.
course,
This is ripped. I'm so.
I've only
stoked.
looked at the camera like 2 times, so there's number 3.
I know, man. I do this with mine too. I edit all the videos on mine. I don't look at the camera.
I think it's better not to.
Kind of, but it's so hard to make clips when it's just the back of my head all the time. And
right, you're like looking at the back of the wall.
Yeah,
But
dude,
everyone,
check this. I love this.
Everyone thinks that's Barack Obama, but it's Salvador Dali. I should have.
Dude, I love that.
I was trying to see if you would guess. I should have.
I thought Obama. I did think Obama, but I love this.
It's Obama's chef. No, I shouldn't have said that. But
no, you're fine.
It's fine. Yeah, but no, dude. I appreciate you doing this.
Dude, thank you so much for
having me. I think we
me.
did a good amount of time. First podcast, 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Perfect.
Just, we're rocking it.
Cruising,
dude.
baby.
7 hours next time, part 2. But
I love it.
Yeah. So October 13th is when
October 13th. The album comes out. I like his style on Blonde Medicine Records. I've got a podcast called In the Minivan, and then, you should come do the Bar Bayou show. Yeah, Bar Bayou on Sundays in Prospect Lefferts Garden every Sunday for free. It's fun as hell.
Sweet. Well, Bar Bayou, that's at Prospect Lefferts Gardens. Okay, yeah. I'll try to swing through to one.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Sick.
Guys, Max Fine, first guest on I'm Up with Anthony Santino, and we're going to keep this rocking, keep it rolling, and I'll figure out a tag for the end of the episode at some point that's not that. But thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Dude.
It's ripped.
Thanks for doing this.
Dude,
This is
yeah,
great. All right. That was Max Fine. That was me. And that was episode 1. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm wearing 3 different T-shirts, 1 for each section of the show, apparently. Not done on purpose, just been filming on 3 different days. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, whatever your medium you used. Yeah, and my hair looks horrible, but hopefully you're listening on audio on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or maybe you're watching on YouTube. Let's shout out YouTube for the algorithm, right? Because that'll work. That'll do something. Yeah, just do me a favor. Gonna be wrapping this up in about 20 seconds. Just share this with people. Like, subscribe, share, do whatever you can to support. Look, I know there's a lot of people doing comedy, a lot of people just talking on microphones. Let's just say I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to have fun with it. And I appreciate you watching and appreciate you listening. This has been episode 1 of I'm Up with Anthony Santino. Have a good one.